Hello everyone, welcome to another video from the Lego City. Today we're gonna start changing up this entire area here in the front of the city. So the park, the hospital back there, and then the farm and residential area over here. I have talked a little bit about it in my last city tour. If you haven't seen that, I will leave a link in the description and probably somewhere on the screen, so make sure to check that out as well. But I'm going to explain a little bit what's happening in this video as well. In the city tour, I mentioned that I want to make the beach a little bit bigger by about one base plate. It won't be like a full base plate, but it will weave in with the park, like you can see back there. And I want to add a little playground here as well. So the basis for that is going to be this gift with purchase set from Lego. Nice little pirate playground. I think I'm gonna change this set up a little bit. I'm only gonna use the boat part, not the water and the palm tree. I have got my own palm trees. Check out this video as well. I'm gonna make it a little bit wider, a little bit bigger, because I think it's just a little too tiny. But then I think it would look very nice here. I would probably place it somewhere right there, of course with sand in the underground and not a green base plate like in the park. Speaking of the park, I think that I will take some of the playground features of the park and move them closer to here. So the playground is kind of connected with the ship and the other stuff. I want to add like a rope swing. And it just switches over from grass to sand at some point, but it's one connected playground. This stuff over here is going, so all the houses that I planned and the big house is going. I will need the space for other stuff. One thing that's staying is the farm building and the cows and the other animals, but it will be slightly rearranged. But we'll get to that at a later point. And of course, the elephant in the room, so to speak, the wind turbine is also going. I think it's a cool set, but it's just so oversized for where it is right now. It doesn't even fit on the camera, so it doesn't really do me any good at the moment. I will of course keep it together as a set, but it won't be around in the city at the moment. And then we also have the hospital that is unfinished. And as I mentioned in the city tour, I want to move that out of the way as well. Now somebody in the comments of the city tour suggested that I put it where the custom police station is, back there. That will require some modification of the hospital, but I think that's worth trying out. And if that doesn't fit, I will just place it in storage until I get more room for everything. But as I mentioned, where the hospital is right now, my botanical garden will go. And the botanical garden will flow organically into the surrounding park area to make it just a very nice area for the people of the city. So that's enough talking for now. I will start removing the things that are not here to stay, and I will report back once I've made some progress with the new stuff. So, welcome back. A few days have passed since the last clip, and quite a few things have changed. Some that were expected, and also some that just came up along the way, so I might have a little or not so little surprise for you at the end. But let's start first with the stuff that was totally expected and planned. So let's start at the botanical garden back there. That's what I've been planning for a while. These are two of the Friends botanical gardens combined. As you could probably tell, there's walls missing and stuff, so this one's not finished at all. It's just to give you a rough idea of how big it will be and how it will look when it's done. Next to the botanical garden, you see a big tree right there. This is the Lego Icons or Botanical Collection bonsai tree that I modified a little bit, but that will be outside in the park of the botanical garden. And the little pond there in the front, this will be a little bit bigger and extend into the park area. So in general, the botanical garden and the park will kind of flow into each other. So the botanical garden is not separated in any way. It's just open to the public, and yeah, it integrates into the surrounding park. You can see I moved some stuff around in the park. It's only temporary until I figure out the complete layout of all the bigger structures. So the tables and stuff will not stay there. You can see the playground has moved kind of more to this area, where you can also find the pirate ship playground, which, as I mentioned, I want to make a little bit bigger, but it's just there to kind of see where it's going. And also from the park, I have removed this rock structure that was used to cover up the plain and not so pretty back of the hospital. I'm planning to see if the hospital fits right there where the custom police station is sitting, but at the moment it does not fit in that space because of the ambulance bay that it has on the side. So that will be a project for later. For now, we're just going to focus on this side of the road. And just to give you an idea of the size that the botanical garden will be, on this side, I'm going to leave it as is. There will be an outside area, but over here I will extend the walls this way, so it's a complete building, and I have some more space to place different plants and stuff on the inside. The same will happen back there, which you can't really see, but just mirror it to the other side. And I think the main entrance will be here where currently this waterfall is that goes into the pond in the original build. So if you look back there towards the farm, you might notice that the big wind turbine is missing. We kind of talked about this in the city update. I think it's just too big for the current layout, so I took it out. And I moved the farm closer to the road, and the cows are now over there. I have to flip the cow stable to the other side. It's currently facing the road, kind of useless. So I just have to move that over, but that will be fine. And you can see I just placed some sheep there as a placeholder. There will be some more farm stuff. I don't know if it's going to be a sheep pasture or a field, a small field or a vegetable garden or something. But there will be some more farm stuff there. And I have to figure out some kind of border there between the farm stuff and the botanical garden, as well as the park somewhere around this area. So far I've been hiding the corner over here to the right, back there, where the houses used to be, or there was one house and just some houses laid out where they would eventually be. And I wasn't quite happy with that. I wanted to have something different, something that involves more features of nature. And I was struggling a bit how we could separate the beach from that. So how do we make the transition from the beach to whatever is back there? And yeah, I had a pretty wild idea, which we're gonna see right now. So, surprise! There is now a mountain here, or the beginning of a mountain. This might be a bit controversial. I don't know how you guys are gonna like this idea. I think it's worth trying out. It just came up during the process of moving things around and trying out different stuff, and I think this is actually quite a neat feature for the layout, and I'm going to explain my thoughts behind it now. So the idea was that I wanted to have some kind of small forest or something back there, but I had a hard time figuring out the transition. And by adding this mountain or cliff right here, I kind of take that away because the cliff is the transition and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space, while at the same time giving me a bunch of space here on the elevated platform to work with. And the plan is now to make a little hiking path. You can see it kind of in the background, the rough layout. We're going to look at it from the other side in just a minute. Here in the front could be like a viewing point where you have a good view over the beach, and then here is just a plateau where we might even be able to fit a little cabin. So I was thinking maybe a cabin like this without the base plates. It's actually not too big and it could actually fit there. So let's just have a look. Yeah, maybe it has to be a little bit smaller, but if you imagine that it's just a cabin without the base, it actually doesn't take up that much space, and that might actually work in there. So this is it from the other side. It's a bit hard to see. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, that works better. And there you can see the path that is winding up through the mountains. I might have to make it a bit longer so it's not that steep, but that's just the general layout. So the path goes in between some exposed rock there and then ends up at the plateau. There will also be a different path going back there, which is where currently the little waterfall is flowing down into the cow pasture. And the plan is to actually build up a little more exposed rock where the gray plates are, and then have another waterfall on top, and then just a small little stream flowing there along the back down to the pasture. I also added this tent there temporarily just to see how it looks. If the cabin is too big, we might also just place a little camp with tent and a fireplace or something up there in the little mountain, just to add some more interesting stuff. But as you can see, it's a couple of different levels now, and they will of course be smoothed out, so it will be more like a slope and not a big cliff like we have here in the front around the beach. Of course, I will smooth the rocks out. It will not be just the big rock pieces, so there will be some actual brickwork done to make it look more realistic and not quite as steep, but still pretty steep. And I have to be careful here on the corner, so it's a little bit more smooth than it is right now, but yeah, it's just a rough outline to get the idea. But I think this can actually be really interesting. Oh, and I haven't mentioned it, but that one is actually the additional base plate for the beach expansion. So the beach is a little bit bigger. I might move the volleyball field to back there, and then just have more space for towels and playing children closer to the playground. But overall, I'm really happy with the idea. I think it can look pretty cool, and it adds an interesting element to the city, which is the elevation, because at the moment everything is pretty much flat, and it just gives it a little bit extra, and it also gives us a bunch of space to work with up there in the mountains. So I think it's a really cool idea. I will proceed to work on it, make it more finished, to see if I still like it when it's getting more towards the end stages. But of course, if I don't like it, I can just take it apart and build something new there, which is the nice thing about Lego. It will of course take a while. It will take a lot of bricks. Luckily, I have a bunch of 2x bricks in colors that I normally don't use, like pink and purple and reds, yellows, and all that stuff, which will also give me some more space in my part storage, which is a nice added benefit. I think that's all for this progress update. I will of course continue working now and then give you another update, and eventually of course a tour of the whole thing. Let me know what you think about this new idea with the mountain. I know it's quite a big change, but I think it has a lot of potential. So let me know in the comments what your opinion is on that change, and of course also if you have any ideas what I could add to the mountain or any of the other areas, let me know in the comments. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss any of the updates, and hopefully see you on the next one.